This is the Empire of the Dead. 6 million skeletons arranged in a labyrinth. Beneath the most beautiful city in the world. You have seen the pictures. You have heard the stories. But there is a secret about these bones that almost nobody knows. It is not about how they got here. It is about why we agreed to forget. Hidden beneath the sands of time lies a story deliberately forgotten. This is the city that erased its dead. In 1763, Paris was the most dangerous city in Europe. Not because of crime, because of the smell. The streets were a symphony of filth, where the struggle for survival was a daily brawl amidst the stench and the slops. The Cimetière des Innocents had been the city's primary burial ground for over 600 years. By the 1760s, it was overflowing. Bodies were buried, unearthed by pigs, and buried again. In this desolate place, the swine unearths what time had forgotten. The bones tell a silent story. The fat from decomposing bodies seeped into the groundwater. The water stank. The bread stank. The wine stank. The steam rising from the fresh loaf offered warmth on a cool market day. As the customer departed, the baker prepared for the next.
King Louis V's council faced an impossible choice. Not an ethical one, an economic one. If the cemetery collapsed, and it was about to, the rotting remains would spill into the cellars of the richest merchants in Paris.
In 1780, that collapse finally happened. The city was forced to act. But what they did next was not what...
For 2 years, every night, a silent procession snaked through the streets.
They carried bones from the overfilled cemeteries and transferred them to an abandoned network of limestone quarries.
But here is the first part of the secret. They didn't just dump the bones.
They curated them. They built walls of skulls. They created ossuaries with inscriptions from classical poetry.
Arrête. C'est ici l'empire de la mort. The answer reveals something uncomfortable about human nature.
They were not honoring the dead. They were coping with the trauma of mass mortality. They were building a psychological barrier. The official narrative ends there. 6 million bones, moved, organized, closed to the public for centuries. But the secret they never wanted you to know is that the catacombs are not just a graveyard. They are a mine. The limestone beneath Paris is hollow. Over 300 kilometers of tunnels.
That is the length of the entire Paris metro system. And it is dissolving. Acidic water is seeping through the limestone, dissolving it from the inside.
Every year, the tunnels expand by several millimeters.
There are over 7,000 structures built directly above these abandoned quarries. Every single one of them could fall into the void, and the government knows.
In the 18th century, the police made a map, the Plan des Carrières. It mapped every tunnel beneath Paris.
It is not complete. Large sections were never documented. Others have been lost. We do not know what is under the City of Light.
They believe the catacombs hold no secrets, but the key to the labyrinth lies exactly here, beneath the Rue Saint-Jacques.
Uncharted tunnels are still being discovered. Under the Panthéon. Under the Louvre. There's something. There's a wall here that's not on any map.
Some tunnels are filled with water. Others are filled with gas, methane, from decomposition.
In 1996, a 10-meter section of the Paris catacombs collapsed without warning. No one died that day, but the building above it? It was a school. In 1996, a 10-meter section of the Paris catacombs collapsed without warning. No one died that day, but the building above it? It was a school. We know this fact. We acknowledge it. And then we move on.
Fels. Why did the city of Paris, in 1786, decide to bury its dead in such secrecy that even today, only 1.7
Because the dead remind us of what we are trying to forget.
Every civilization is built on a foundation. Some are concrete, some are bones, some are erased histories, some are uncomfortable truths we just ignore.
We live in a world of light. We build our cities, our dreams, our identities on the surface.
But the darkness is always there, beneath our feet, waiting to remind us.
The catacombs are not a tomb. They are a document of how a society handles death.
Why did they stop adding bones in 1860? Hoo-hoo, you 60.
Because Paris decided to forget. They closed the quarries, they sealed the entrances, they built parks on top of them.
1780, overwhelmed by death. 1860, erased the evidence. 2024, nearly forgot it existed.
6 million skeletons. And the secret no one talks about is not the bones. It is the silence.
Because underneath every city, underneath every nation, every family, every person, there are skeletons. Not literal ones. Usually. Secrets. Traumas. Decisions that we buried because we couldn't bear to look at them. And like the Paris catacombs, if we don't map them, if we don't acknowledge...
Eventually, the surface collapses. So the next time you stand on a beautiful street, in a beautiful city, look down.
The empire of the dead is there, waiting. They said they would never speak of it again. And for the most part, we haven't.
6 million people rest beneath Paris. Paris is sinking. By 2030, over 300...
What are you building on?